y'all. Tap that screen, share the live. Oh, shit. We're going to start getting some people up here to debate. Give it a minute, everyone. Do tap that screen. Do share the live, everyone. If you are MAGA, you can type in the comment section right now. You can send a guest request. We're going to start getting people up here. We're going to be doing some debates. Christina, thank you so much for the handout. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. We'll miss your debates. I will be doing stuff on YouTube. If you want to come subscribe to me on YouTube, I'll be doing debates on YouTube. If anything does happen to TikTok. Thank you so much for the Galaxy. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the Galaxy. Thank you. All right, everyone, do tap that screen. Let's run it up to 100,000 likes. Share the live as well. Everyone will help get out to more people. Thank you, Matt, for the raid. I think people are joining in from Matt's. Definitely make sure to subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to be making more content. I'll probably be putting out a video or two within the week or so. Mike, thank you for the boxing gloves. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let's get some people up here. Only send a guest request if you did vote Trump. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. All right, let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you did vote Trump. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. Only send a guest request if you did vote Trump. Keep tapping that screen. Keep sharing the live. Thank you, Matt, for the raid. I appreciate it, Matt. Thank you.
I'm on Focus Live.
Oh, it's a fetus. Only send a guest request if you did vote Trump.
Yo.
What's up? Did you vote Trump?
I did.
Why so?
I think he's gonna restore the pride of American culture and allow you to not be masochistic about our past and stuff.
What do you mean by that?
It seems like a lot of people on the left would kind of try to diminish and erase our history, and the opposing administration seems
What do you
to
mean
be
by erase our
proponents of
history?
that.
It seems like conservatives are the ones trying to erase history when they're the ones not trying to acknowledge the bad things that happened. So actually, when you say that, it's ironic.
Like, what are they not acknowledging? What happened?
What are you said that you didn't want us to like degrade our past, right? Is that essentially
Yeah,
what you're saying?
and I'm talking about like
that means acknowledge the bad things we did. Like acknowledge that like literally like slavery, acknowledge Jim Crow laws, acknowledge the genocide of indigenous people.
Yeah, I mean, I think, are those not acknowledged?
Not enough.
So
Absolutely
is
not.
acknowledgement meaning take down statues and
Absolutely, yeah. Why would we put up statues of people that were like pro-slavery and like thought women shouldn't have the right to vote and like literally like owned people as property? Like, I think that's a
do you
pretty
think
insane
good
thing to
people
do.
can do bad things, or is it like you're one or the other?
I think that if you owned people as property, that's bad.
Would you say someone who witnessed a gang rape and did nothing about it, are they a bad person, or can they do things that make them good?
I think that's an extremely vague thing to say.
It's
If
true,
they did
actually.
nothing, I think that would be that'd be indicative of a bad person. You should
Well, that's
absolutely do
Martin
something
Luther
in that
King.
scenario.
That's Martin Luther
What are you
King.
talking about?
That's happened to him. He witnessed a gang rape, yet he's known to be the arbiter of the civil rights movement. So a good person can do bad things.
Wait, can you give me like a source on any of these things that you're referencing? I don't have any knowledge of this.
Well, I'll go look it up. But my philosophy teacher my freshman year said that, so I did take his word for it.
Okay,
I'll go look that up.
nice. You took the okay. That sounds really credible.
Oh, so now universities are not credible?
I mean, that's a wild statement coming from a philosophy professor.
He's the
I
same
wouldn't
teacher.
believe you can evaluate what your philosophy professor
He was talking
says, right?
about like Schmittler saying how he was describing qualities of Schmittler, saying he's a vegetarian, he loves dogs, he took care of X, Y, and then he was like, "Is this a good person?" And people were like, "Yes." And then he was like, "I'm describing Hitler. Therefore, you can have good qualities and be a bad human being."
Dude,
can
yeah,
do good
dude,
things
that's like
or bad.
actually insane. If you only give a perspective of someone that particularly doesn't acknowledge any of the bad things they've done, or you might typically assume,
And that's
right,
what I
those
said to
are
him.
good attributes. Now, that doesn't actually mean, right, anything. Saying that there are some good attributes to people that are considerably terrible, fucking disgusting people is not at all relevant to any conversation. What's the point of acknowledging that?
Because it's not so simple as to say like this person's good, this person's bad. You should look at things they did and say whether or not those were good or bad, not if they're a good or bad person overall.
Say that one more time.
Hello?
Say that one more time. You're lagging out. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Okay, we're gonna cut them out.
I think I'm
Let's go on to
back.
the next person. Only send a guest request if you did vote Trump. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. Please only send a guest request if you did vote Trump. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. Yo, it's Paladin.
19.
Did you vote Trump?
Yes.
Why so?
I prefer his economic policy.
Okay. Appreciate the head mustache. Thank you so much. What economic policy specifically?
I thought his Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was very successful in his first administration.
Okay. So, what about the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was specifically successful under your view?
His largest tax code overhaul in 3 decades. It's a big one. The rates dropped.
Rates dropped. Okay. So you know that was a predominant tax cut for the ultra wealthy and for people who make a significant amount of money. That's what the tax cut was for. Specifically, 83% of tax cuts went to the top 1%, right? That's predominantly towards rich people. $190 billion of tax related or debt related spending every year for this tax policy. And according to a liberal and conservative economist from Harvard, only added $8 billion to the annual GDP, little more than $1 billion in federal revenues, which is nowhere near enough to justify the spending overall.
Well, I disagree. I think that's a little out of proportion because rich pay more actual money in taxes.
The rich pay more actual money in taxes. What do you mean by that? Like, are you saying nominally?
Yeah, I'm not saying like percentage-wise.
That's how our tax structure works. So what Trump's doing is he's taking a progressive tax structure and he's replacing it with a regressive tax, right? Specifically tariffs. Tariffs cause a greater level of increase in taxes, specifically for people who are lower income and middle income. Push the head mustache. Thank you.
I mean, from what I have read, I have sources as well. I have that the rates dropped from 39.6 to 37%, 33 to 32, 28 to 24, 25 to 22, 15 to 12, and the only that stayed the exact same were 10% and 35%. All those brackets, all the others dropped.
You're not listening, right? The tax structure that exists for income tax structure is a progressive tax structure, meaning most of the money comes from people who are wealthy. If you replace that tax structure with tariffs, which are predominantly going to be placed on lower and middle income individuals, because if you have a greater level of income, you spend a lower percentage of your overall income on imported goods. So the price increase is going to affect poor people and middle income individuals the most. So you're replacing a progressive tax structure that takes more money from people who are rich, and you're replacing it with a tax structure that takes more money from people who are lower income. So that's terrible.
Okay, I mean, other things, I guess, economically that happened that I felt gave him my vote for me was unemployment in 2015 was at 5%, where in 2019 it was at 3.5%.
Unemployment right now at 4% is because of the increase in interest rates. Push the hand out.
Okay.
Because of the Federal Reserve. That's nothing to do with the president.
Well, I disagree there.
What do you mean you disagree? What about it?
I think that a lot of things changed under Trump, and I don't think that's just a coincidence. I think so. Poverty rates in 2015 were at 13.5%. In 2019, they were at 10.5%.
So you said a lot of things changed under Trump. You're not acknowledging. You're not acknowledging specifically that things changed, but that doesn't mean it's caused by the president. You're attributing specifically like the just because it happened under the administration to be because of the president.
Well, I gave you an example of a act that, in my opinion, changed a lot of this stuff. Poverty rates and real medium household income both went up under Donald Trump, and I believe that the Tax Cut and Jobs Act was a big part of that.
So the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, you said it's a big part of it, of the growth. How do you attribute that? Because I just told you it was only responsible for $8 billion in GDP growth a year.
I mean, it wasn't. It's not necessarily just tax cuts too. It did increase jobs as well, as I just said in the unemployment one.
Okay, so increased jobs for unemployment. So again, how many jobs can you attribute?
I can't say that every single job was because of the act, but like I said, at the start of his presidency, he was at 5% unemployment, where at the end it was at 3.5. I don't think that was just a coincidence.
Yeah, so you're just saying you feel like it is the case. You're not really giving like an argument.
Okay.
Are you going to give any reason, or are you just going to keep saying that you feel like it is the case?
Well,
Per standard, because like you just saying you feel like it is the case doesn't really sound like you put facts over the feelings. Per standard, that sounds kind of like anti-facts.
well, I'm giving you exact data.
What exact data? I gave you a specific analysis from a liberal and conservative economist. Push the galaxy. Thank you so much. That's bipartisan.
Okay, well, I guess I disagree there.
What do you disagree with? Do you have like a different analysis that you're going to bring up that you're going to cite?
I don't have a totally different analysis. No.
Say that one time.
I do not have a totally different analysis.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to go on to the next
So-
person. This person's like brain is half working.
Hey man, good to see you.
That's good. How you doing? I
Good. I
think
jumped in and I was like,
Yeah, no, I was my live is like not sending out very much right now. I think I'm gonna hit a restart probably here in a
mine was
bit.
garbage today, so I don't blame you.
Sometimes it just takes like a restart. What's it called? We'll see though. Sometimes it just takes a second though, so I don't know. It's really been weird recently. All right, do give it a second, everyone. Do tap that screen. Let's run it up to 150,000 likes. Share the live as well. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
23. I just talked to Johnny on his live. Johnny, you remember me?
No, sorry.
I literally-
it's nothing personal. It's not personal. I swear to God. It's not
I was
personal.
on your
I swear
live
to
for
God.
like 20 minutes.
I know. I swear to God, it's not personal.
It was like 10 minutes ago. And you
promise
said,
you.
I have a slow brain.
I promise you, it's not personal. My brain kind of tosses out the trash and it leaves like the important stuff. So I apologize if you were, you're tossed into.
Yeah,
that
you
trash.
were the one saying Trump is a DEI candidate
He
to
is.
me.
He is a DEI candidate. That's factual.
Yeah.
But
It's
then,
literally the definition.
The Electoral College.
Yep.
yep.
That's the only reason Trump was president in 2016.
DEI higher.
So do you think it should be abolished, or are you a fan of DEI? So you're not
Yeah.
a fan of DEI?
So like I'm for DEI when it's helping out marginalized communities, but like obviously Trump isn't of any marginalized community. I mean, he's just orange
Then how's he a product of DEI?
because of the Electoral College.
Well, you just said the core tenet of
No, I
DEI
never said
is
that.
helping-
I never said the core tenet is. I just said I think like DEI is good when it helps out marginalized communities. I never said that DEI is predicated off of helping marginalized communities. There's some DEI that could be for white people, like specifically the Electoral College predominantly.
What do you think about the proposed acquisition of Greenland?
I think that Donald Trump's insane. Nice pivot though. Donald Trump's insane. He literally said he's unsure that he is whether or not he's going to use military to take like Greenland and Panama. That's like unhinged, right? Like, can't you even see that? Did you even vote for that? I thought he was supposed to be like pro peace, anti war.
Yeah, I take that as a leverage or a negotiation leveraging tactic. Kind of like, the saying the stick or the carrot.
You mean so like saying you might invade one of your allies is like is good rhetorically. How?
Well, are we allies with Greenland right now?
We're allies with Denmark, so yes, we are allies with Greenland.
Personally, I don't know if international law would agree with this, but Greenland has their own prime minister, yet it's up to Denmark's oversight if they are part of the U.S. or if they could be sold to the U.S. Why can't the people of Greenland? There was like a study or a survey that 57% of people supported joining the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see the conditions of the poll. I've heard this poll exists. If you'd like to show me that, I'd like to see it. But yeah, I mean, if that was true, like they should run a referendum. If there was a referendum that said that the Greenland wants to join the United States, I'd be okay with Greenland joining the United States if that's democratically voted on. The issue is that Donald Trump's not fully referencing democratic votes, and oftentimes, even with Canada, is referencing literally economic coercion.
Well, what do you think is the most devastating thing Trump is proposing?
The most devastating thing, I can't like. I'm not gonna like sit here and be like, oh, I'm gonna find out which one is the most devastating. I can just tell you a bunch of them that are devastating. I don't think it's relevant to rank.
Okay,
I
is
can
there
bring up something that
anything
is
positive?
very devastating if you'd like.
Sure, and then say if there's anything positive.
Okay, well, Operation Warp Speed is positive, but specifically something that's very negative that he was proposing was mass deportations. Like, there's no particular qualified mechanism that he'd be able to use that is constitutionally like inept to be able to use, right? That would allow for him to be able to identify that people who are undocumented, who have not committed crimes, are in the country and undocumented. You have no method of analysis for that.
How were people deported prior to him wanting mass deportation? Isn't it the same thing though? It's on a bigger scale.
How are people deported prior to mass deportation? What are you talking about?
Like prior to Trump's taking office, because you're saying that his
Pretty
method
similar
of
rates.
deporting.
No, I'm saying what he's been advocating for. When he's in office, it's at pretty similar rates.
Well, what's the method of deporting people if it's not like?
There would have to be a specified method. He didn't specify any method because he didn't run on fucking any policy. No healthcare plan, no childcare plan, no housing affordability plan, no fucking specific border policies. The only thing he brought up was Remain in Mexico that was implemented in 2019, which is an executive order, which he could have implemented day one, which only impacted like what 70 fucking thousand people. I think.
Is there a way to ethically deport people? Like, is the way Obama did it ethical?
I think that the way to ethically deport people would be that people who are in the country who have not committed violent crimes or any type of considerable bad crime should be given a pathway to citizenship until we have like a better process that allows for people to like safely get into the country.
So yes, there is a way. So what if Trump just uses that?
What do you mean?
You just said he doesn't have a proposed, like, solidified policy. So what if he takes the ethical route you're proposing? Then mass deportations can be a good thing, right?
Wait, how is it a good thing? Sorry, restate that.
Well, you said that there's an ethical way to deport people, right? So if Trump deports them in this ethical way,
If Trump did so in the manner in which I was referencing, yeah, that would be good. But that's not what his proposed policy was. He didn't even have
you
like
said he
strictly
didn't
defined
have a
policy.
proposed policy.
I know. I just said he didn't have strictly defined policy. But you cut me off.
Okay, mass deportation was also already incorporated in both modern history and past history.
Yeah, we went over this.
Okay, thanks. So 3 times in our global history, once under Eisenhower and 2 times under authoritarian fascists, which we won't speak their names here. That being said, mass deportation in the state of Florida is called SB 1718, and this is the first time in modern history we have seen this policy take place. The policy has led to about a 40% depletion in the workforce when it comes to agriculture, because it turns out that Florida relies on undocumented labor when it comes to farmers. It's also led to a $12.6 billion gap in the state's GDP. So if you're going to incorporate mass deportation, as they are in Florida, let's recognize that's going to cut your GDP, and that's going to cut your workforce, and you're going to have a solution
I have a
for
solution.
that. What is it?
Robotics and AI.
What?
Robotics and AI, they can become farmers.
So you're saying that you want to replace the American worker with robots?
You realize that's going on now in factories, in restaurants,
you want more of that?
delivery services.
You want more of that?
That'll provide more manufacturing
That's not very
jobs.
America first of you, is it?
It'll reshape the type of jobs offered.
Okay,
It'll
can you
be
give me
more
like
robotic assembly.
let's ballpark a number here. How much would replacing undocumented migrants and American workers with robotics technology cost the American consumer? I mean, consider the fact that you would already be taking about 300 minimum, 450 maximum $billion out of our economy every year by just deporting these undocumented migrants alone, let alone the amount that you would also lose from depleting the workforce of American workers. What on top of that is the cost of incorporating robotics into these industries?
Yeah, I don't know how you'd expect me to know the number.
Well,
I'm just
I mean, if you're putting an idea
theorizing.
like this out there, you ought to have a stat to suggest that it works.
You think I'm the first person thought about it?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I do. Well, yeah, I haven't heard anybody else say that they want to replace all American workers and undocumented migrants with robots. That seems to be special to you. But chat, does anybody else want to replace all our workers with robots? Is that like what's going on here? So after you deplete the workforce, what's the solution to put money into the pockets of the workers that no longer have their jobs?
UBI. Universal Basic Income.
Okay, well that's oh my god. Never mind. Okay.
What? That's just a solution that's practical? Is that a concession?
So you're saying that you want universal basic income. And is Donald
Yeah.
Trump going to pass that? Is that a Trump plan? You voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah, just like you didn't think he would be pro H-1 visas.
Donald
and
Trump championed universal basic income. That's what you're suggesting? Donald
not
Trump
saying
doesn't
that.
even champion
Elon Musk
healthcare
did.
for veterans.
You guys say he's allegiant to Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Is Elon Musk the president?
According to some people, right? Don't some people think he's
Are you
holds
like
more
okay?
power?
Like genuine question. Are you okay? Is everything okay at
Yeah.
home? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get back to mass deportation. So you're speaking on mass deportation. I offered you a situation in which it's depleting the workforce and GDP in the state of Florida. Costs have gone up in the state of Florida, not even at the rate of which wages have gone down. And yet you're suggesting that like mass deportation is going to be beneficial to the people. It's not. Can you give me an instance of mass deportation being beneficial to any country in our global history?
Well, you said it happened under Eisenhower. Why did
Okay.
it happen then?
No,
it not a good thing
you're not
then?
going to ask me questions. I just asked you a question. Don't answer a question with a question. That's not fair.
Well, I don't know exactly when it's been good.
But then why are you talking about mass deportation being beneficial to the American people? You have no proof of such a thing, but I do have proof of it being actually detrimental to both the economy and workforce.
In your live, you said mass deportation is a new thing established by Trump.
No, those words never came out of my mouth.
Yeah, you would distinguish between deportation and mass deportation.
There is a difference between mass deportation and deportation. Deportation, correct. We've been deporting for decades. Mass deportation is a policy that's been incorporated 3 times in our global history and once in Florida. And I just explained to you what it is, how it was incorporated, what's it cost us, both in our workforce and economy. You need to tell me how it's beneficial.
Yeah, it'll make the crime rate lower. It'll make more social cohesion.
You're statistically more likely to commit a crime than an undocumented migrant. So then wouldn't it be more beneficial to deport us, like all of us? Like all you, me, Parker, shouldn't all of us in the chat, shouldn't we all be deported? Leave the undocumented migrants if you want crime to go down and just deport all of us? Like, shouldn't we all chat? I guess we're going to Canada. Mexico, where are we going? Like, make it make sense.
Europe.
Right? Apparently we're out. Okay, that was fun.
Okay. Yep. Are you? I have a question. Are you sentient?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. All right. I'm gonna hit a restart for algorithm. Appreciate you.
Peace,
Though.
man.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me up.
Okay. Okay, everyone. I'll be right back. Everyone. I'll be right back, y'all.